everybody. Welcome to the PK Sportscast. I'm your host, John, aka that PK boy, here with Caleb, Matt Marengo, and Knock. How you guys doing today?
Doing
Great.
great, man.
Always.
Man, a lot to get into this week. Want to start off by just welcoming you back, Marengo. We missed you last week. You had so much that you could have talked crap about, and you weren't even here to do it. So we took it a little easy on you, man. How you feeling?
Oh yeah, man. I was definitely listening. I was expecting some crap to be talked, but no, y'all took it easy on me last week, so I won't go too hard, man. But I'm just happy to be back, brother. Happy to be back on the line.
Happy to have you back, man. Let's go ahead and get started. Talk about this Chiefs game, man. It was one of the best games of the week. Really high profile game. Marengo, I'll let you get started on that, man. What did you think of that Chiefs Chargers matchup?
It was a typical division game, man. I mean, it was played rough till the very end. Gave me a few heart attacks, but some bumps in my chest. Saw that Kevin Hart DraftKings commercial. It was making me feel feel some type of way after watching that game. But no, man, I thought we looked pretty well. Coming off a short week, Mahomes still had, over 200 yards and a couple touchdowns. Clyde and Kelsey both did their thing. I mean, at the end of the day, we got the dub. It was a pretty good game. Yeah, man, I thought it went pretty well.
Awesome, man. Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good game, man. Caleb, what'd you think?
Jalen Watson, right? It was amazing. I thought we, kind of started out a little sluggish. That can be expected. Coming off of a short week, and Mahomes didn't have to have one of those games. Still played pretty well. I had over 200 yards. But man, Watson really provided a spark. 99-yard pick six it was sick, man. And I tell you, I was at work. I think I jumped out of my seat whenever I saw him go into the crib with that, man. So it was just awesome. I think a little bit of relief on Mahomes. I think it kicked to him right shortly after, and I think I just saw like it was like a sigh of relief to him. He didn't have to have just do everything. It was awesome. Everybody did their thing, and everything came up the way it needed to. Jalen Watson was huge. We got the dub, and that's beautiful. That's a division game that was important, and we really needed that. So we got the dub, and just looking on to next week at this point. How were you feeling about that, Knock? Is there anything that you took away from that?
Oh man, I left that game feeling amazing. I left that game feeling amazing, baby. We whooped their ass. It was awesome. I mean, I I I don't know how you guys are done already. Let me just take up your time, please. Look, guys,
Please.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire. It might have been his best game I've ever seen. His first half, he dominated. The kid, he averaged almost 10 yards a carry, guys. I mean, the guy, he was running the ball at will. He was breaking tackles. He looked like the guy that we drafted for the first time in a long time. That was awesome. Chris Jones made his presence felt early and late in that game. He came away with 2 sacks against that offensive line. And they were double teaming him all day. He still got in there twice in a big division game. I mean, he took over. It was beautiful. Justin Watson, the young receiver, he's a big play machine, isn't he? I mean, I don't know. I bet you we could check the stats. He might be having the highest average yards per catch on our team as far as being the biggest big play hit on our team right now. The young guy is showing up. Not only is he getting snaps, but he's being looked at by Mahomes in clutch moments to make big plays and long yardage. That is huge. And so that I took away from it. And then, something, I got to come with something a little negative to finish off. I'm going to say the verdict is still out on MVS. He did his body language. There's something about the way he runs. I don't know the way he finishes. I don't know if he's complaining too much. I don't know. The verdict is still out on him. He doesn't seem like he makes the most out of his opportunities. But Mahomes is only throwing the ball to him 3 or 4 times a game. everyone's only getting a handful of targets. So the verdict is still out on that, but I'd like to see a little bit more consistency out of MVS because he's supposed to play a big role. But other than that, really happy with the game. And there was a couple of things left on there, but I'm going to leave those for you, PK.
Hey, I'm just glad that you said it because that was the first thing I was going to say is we had a run game. We had such a good run game against the Chargers too, so it felt really good to see us look like that against the team that everyone keeps saying, oh, either the Broncos or Chargers going to be first in the division. Chiefs going to be lucky to get third this year. It's been crazy. So it was really nice to see it the way that game went. I'm just really glad that it was a nice chippy game, but we still pulled out the dub. That's always fun to see. It wasn't a 360-yard game by Mahomes, but he still looked good. He's playing very efficient. Kind of reminds me of whenever we had Alex Smith. Obviously a little better, but he just isn't making insane turnovers like we saw at the beginning of last year. He was doing a little bit too much. So I think we look really good, man. Defense played decent. Um, I'm just glad that we got that dub at home against the Chargers because I think they took us the last couple times. So, um, not really too much more to say on that one. Maybe one negative, just like Knox said. I had really high hopes for this Pacheco guy, and unfortunately for him, he also is wearing number 10 on our team. So I would like to see a little bit more from him, but it's early. Dude's a rookie. I'm not gonna be crazy about it, but I mean, we have some other rookies that are stepping up. Karlaftis and Leo Chenal were both in the backfield all night, and so that was really good to see. But to recap on that game, as far as our competition goes, Marengo came back this week and was 1 point away from guessing the score of that game. He guessed it to be 28-24, took it 27-24, so that was nice. What I want to really get into is from our bet last week. Spoiler alert, I got the point for this game too. Miami and Baltimore. That game was nuts. I'm not going to lie. I'm sitting there at the beginning of the fourth quarter just thinking to myself, man, these dang Dolphins got me 2 weeks in a row. I went against them. They got me. I went for them, and they're crap in the bed here. I didn't really know what to expect. But, dude, 361 yards and 4 touchdowns between Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. As a Chiefs fan, it kind of sat with me weird seeing Tyreek throw the deuce up as he dipped out at the end of the game. But, at the same time, man, I'm just happy for him. That's one of my favorite players in the league. I'm glad that he's doing well. I don't like some of the weird comments he makes about Tua over Mahomes, but hey, you know what? He's making like Marengo says, you pay enough money, he'll say anything you want him to. So it was nice to see him step up against a team like the Ravens, yeah, I thought that was just an amazing game by Tua. Good job on his part because a lot of people gave him crap after last week. He had a decent game, but no tutties. So. I don't know. What did you think, Marengo? What was your idea of that Dolphins game?
I think Tua had the fourth quarter of his goddamn life. Excuse my language. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. But this cat had 6 touchdowns. He had a couple interceptions, but over 400 yards, almost 500 yards on the day. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek, I mean, they had 22 of those catches. So, I mean, you know who he was throwing to. I mean, the Dolphins have more than one weapon now, so they're looking great. But hats off to Tua, man. That kid he played the game of his life, and that's really all I got to say on it other than what the hell was Baltimore doing. I I don't know how you even get put in that position. I don't know how you let that happen when you're supposed to be one of the premier teams in the NFL. That is absolutely embarrassing, and there's no other way to really put it, man. I mean, the Dolphins are looking like they're going to be a good team this year, but you're supposed to be one of the top 5, top 10 teams in the NFL. You got to put them away. But I don't know, man. Other than that, I don't really have too much to go in on that. Caleb, I know I think you're up next, man. What you got?
I mean, just really, it just kind of you nailed it. I think I texted you guys saying because I picked Miami to win this game, and after the first half, I was just like, well, there goes that. Like, and then I look at the score, and I'm like, is this right? Miami's back. Like, what happened? Like, I was almost upset. I mean, how do you let that happen? And then I see that Tua is just the fourth quarter. He just took over. Which great. I'm happy for Tua. That's amazing. But kind of what Mango said. You're one of the premier teams in the league. This is not a good look for Lamar. This is not a good look for the Ray. You have to close out games like that. When you're at home, you're up by multiple scores. You have to close that game out. Nobody is going to take you seriously when you're blowing three leads like that. Nobody is going to take you seriously. Miami seriously came back and won 42-38. They're on the road. People are talking about them anyway. And Tua, he came out of nowhere. Knox said this when we were prepping. We ever seen a 5-game stretch where he's had as many touchdowns as he did in this game? Like, it's crazy to me how they just came back with this. Knock, I know you had something to say about this one, man. What's going on in your mind?
I'm blown away. I don't know how. I don't know how anyone, puts this on Lamar. Lamar played a perfect game. I mean, Lamar played an MVP caliber game. Let me just read this off to you. Lamar Jackson had 119 yards rushing. Miami had 86 yards rushing as a team. Lamar had 318 yards passing.
Ooh.
318 yards passing on top of 119 yards rushing. The man had 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, no turnovers. The man put up his points. This is square on the shoulders of that half-ass defense that they've baked up there in Baltimore. I don't know what happened. Marcus Peters was getting burnt left and right. They clearly haven't dealt with the situation they have in the secondary because Waddle and Hill just waddled all over. You see him doing his fucking corny-ass dances, his little corny-ass little waddle dance in the end zone. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, you got to be kidding me. You let a guy waddle on you like that. That's disrespectful, man. That is disrespectful. That is the most disrespectful end zone dance in the league, bar none. If you see this dude waddling on you, you just got. I mean, they came back and scored 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Are you kidding me? This is square on the shoulders of that defense. Harbaugh's got to address it immediately, or else the Dolphins are going to take the Baltimore Ravens' place in the playoffs.
Damn.
Unfortunately, it's the quarterbacks that get the front end of the deal. That's just what we see. Unfortunately, that's how it is. I hate that for Lamar, but that's what happens.
Well, it's 100% not Lamar's fault.
No,
Absolutely
I
not
agree.
Lamar's fault.
I agree.
Not this week. Not this week.
No, man. I mean, Lamar definitely played a really good game. It was just a high scoring game. I mean, 42-38. I mean, everyone's balling. Defense is lacking. I was very surprised to see on some of those plays, like, what were the safeties doing? I mean, Tua did a 3 to 5 step drop back and immediately threw over the top. Do you know how fast Tyreek Hill is? Do you think that Mahomes makes his feet go faster? No, he just had the arm to hit him deep. If someone can throw it far enough, this man will catch it. You need to have your safeties ready for that. I can't believe, like, I don't know if y'all saw that play. Safety's like 15 yards behind, still backpedaling. Ball's flying over his head. I'm like, what are you doing, man? Baltimore, they could be in trouble with that defense against high caliber offenses. But I don't know. Miami's impressing me so far this year, a little more than I thought they would. They'll be a fun team to watch.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So another big game from this last week. Not necessarily like the most high profile game of the week, but definitely some big impacts being made was the Seahawks and 49ers game this week. As we all know, there was a big injury to starting quarterback Trey Lance for the Niners, and they brought back in Jimmy G. Marengo, you spent some time. You used to live in Seattle, man. How did you feel about watching that game?
Well, I'll tell you what, man. I kind of want to go back to last week because I'm disappointed. So, like you said, man, I lived in Seattle for a long time. So I got I got there in 2015. I think he got drafted in 2011. I got the brunt end of the Russ is great, like Russell Wilson, everything, jerseys, flags everywhere, and for him to have 10 great seasons, bring you a Super Bowl, and for you to not only boo this man, the booing I can get around, but write traitor on the back of his jersey, step on his shit in the parking lot, and treat him like he's garbage is absolutely asinine and ridiculous. And as a sports fan, honestly, 2 weeks later, I'm still hurt about it. But going into this week's game, man, sorry. I got a little worked up about that, man.
Did you get something off your chest right there, Mango?
Yeah, I did. I've been thinking about that for 2 weeks, man.
Hey, man, Russ doesn't get the respect he deserves out here in Denver either, man. So
no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I mean, that's a whole conversation that we could talk about at a later time, but we don't have time for that today. No, man. Hopefully Trey Lance gets better, man. I know he's gone for the season. It was a brutal injury. I hope he starts feeling better, but I tell you what, watch out for San Francisco. Because that team is going to go places, man. They came off an NFC Championship appearance last year. Yeah, I know they lost. But when Jimmy G went out there, he was in full command of that offense. And they look just as deadly as they did last year. So as brutal as it is for Trey Lance to go out, and I hope the kid feels better, and I hope he comes back even stronger, I think it's great for the 49ers as a team. I think it's great for them as an organization. And I think they're going to do a lot better this year than they would have, unfortunately. But I don't want to dig on the 49ers too much. I mean, especially after this week. Knock, what are you feeling on it, man?
Oh my God, these guys suck. I mean, I told you guys about Seattle. I told you guys about Seattle. Now, I had to eat a little crow last week. I had to, Gino came out and, he had all summer long to practice that first week, and man, he went out there and he made the most of it. And I gave him his credit and I wished him the very best. But that was last week. This week, I'm laughing at this motherfucker. Look, check it. Gino, bro, 197 passing yards and 0 touchdowns and 1 pick. I know it's a team sport, bruh. I know it's a team sport, but we got to do better, man. We got to do better if you don't want me talking shit about how garbage you guys are. And this is the thing. Compared to that paltry rushing attack, it wasn't too bad. Okay? That rushing attack, I'm looking at the stats. When I looked at it, I had to double check it. I scratched my eyes. Look, guys, this team had 36 rushing yards last week. The Seattle Seahawks had 36 rushing yards on 14 attempts. They were so bad they just gave up on running the ball. How do you protect your quarterback? How do you give him opportunity? How do you let people get open if they're not respecting the run? If you can't get 3, 4, 5 yards per carry, I mean, I don't understand. So clearly there's something wrong there with the coaching. There's something wrong there with the personnel. It's more than just Gino on his defense, but this team is garbage, like I said they were, because the Niners are not that great. On the flip side, the Niners do what the Niners do. They ran the ball down their throats. They had 189 yards rushing as a team. And their first string running back went out last week on injured reserve. They still got that. I mean, they were committed to the run. They ran the ball 45 times. Averaged 4.2 yards per team. I mean, they dominated field position. They dominated the clock. This is old school football. This is what you're going to get with Shanahan. He learned it from his best. And this is why this team is always in contention to go to the playoffs. Now they got Jimmy G back. Trey Lance is out. And Jimmy G is not going to win you a bunch of games, but he's not going to lose you a bunch of games. So, I think the Niners have an opportunity to maybe, I think their upside is a little higher this year, even though the ceiling is also lower in the long term. So we'll see what happens with Lance. I wish the kid all the best, though, with his injury.
Now, do you think they're going to be any better now that Jimmy G is stepping back in?
They'll win maybe one or two more games than I thought they would at the beginning of the year. I
So?
think if I look, I had them, I had the San Francisco 49ers going 6-11. Yeah, they could win 8 games with Jimmy G because he's got experience. He's not going to throw as many picks as the rookie would, who's never ran a team before. So, but yeah, I mean, he's still not going to take him to the promised land unless Kittle comes back and Debo gets the balls 18 more times a game, because that's all they got is Debo. That run game, that offensive line.
Well, I will say, Marengo said very early on in our podcast that he saw San Francisco going 11-6 and taking a wild card spot with Jimmy G at quarterback, and then they started Trey Lance. So maybe, we're only at the end of week 2. So maybe Marengo's idea of that team could still come to fruition. Because I'm not going to lie, after last week, again in week 1 against Chicago, after that, I was like, there's no way in hell they're going to make the playoffs right now at this rate. But Jimmy G's back, so I don't know. Caleb, what do you think?
I think I think he essentially knocked it out of the park, man. Outside of the games at the end, I'm not sure. I don't know. I guess we'll just have to see how the season panned out. But just like everybody said, this is going to be Seattle's rebuild year. I mean, I think I was the one that was highest on him. Had him winning 8 games. I mean, they're San Francisco can still play defense. They can still run the ball. They got Jimmy G out there running around now. Like once. They didn't respect the run. Seattle couldn't do anything. I mean, what could they do? Seattle's not good. Geno Smith, they beat Denver week 1, but Denver looks terrible. So, I mean, it's hard to tell. Right. It's hard to tell at this point.
There was so much emotion wrapped around that game that, I mean, you can play out of body when when that kind of stuff happens, when those games come up. So, I mean, maybe it's overhyped. Maybe Geno's that good. I don't know, but it's not looking good for Geno.
Hey, sooner or later, Kansas City native Drew Lock. I've been telling y'all about this. He's going to come out there for Seattle, and he's going to bring him that second and only other win I have him getting this season. And that's it. If not, then I think Knock will get first place, and they're going to lose out the rest of the season. I believe what he called them were dog water, and I will agree to that. But, they'll get one more win for sure. I think the Niners are looking a lot scarier. I still don't have them making the playoffs, but, we'll see what happens. I think they've got an interesting team. But, yeah, 49ers, Seahawks, both dog water. I don't think they're going to do much. Moving on though, after seeing everything this week, real quick, let me just go ahead and recap some of the games that we had this last week. So, I hate to mention it every time. Of course, Marengo gets the point for the Chiefs, but nobody once again got the point for Indianapolis because we'll talk about them later. The Jets and Browns. Jets came back, exciting comeback for Joe Flacco. Came in and went ahead and took the dub for the Jets. Honorable mention on that game is I just thought this is a super funny stat. So the last team to lose a 2-score lead in the final 2 minutes of a game hasn't happened since 2001. When the Browns lost. So, I don't even know what it was before the Browns, but literally only the Browns can do something like that, and that is, it just history showed itself again. Knock took the win on that one. He had the Jets winning 27-17. They won 31-30. Commanders, Lions. Lions took the win, 36-28. I got the point there at 30 to 21. Of course, we already talked about the Dolphins-Ravens game. Buccaneers won, as we all predicted. Marengo took the point there. He had guessed that it was going to be 31-14, 20-10. I guess we all had blowouts on that one. The Giants looking a lot better than we all thought they would this season. They went ahead and took a win against the Panthers, and Baker continues to disappoint me. Caleb took the point on that one, 14-10. It was 19-16. And then, the Patriots finally got the win when it didn't matter for my gas tank. They win at 17-14 against the Steelers. Not got the point on that one. I think something none of us really expected. I got the point for the Dallas-Cincinnati game. I was the only one who went Dallas, so they actually won. So it didn't matter what the score was. I'm taking that point all the way. San Francisco, funny thing with that, I forgot to mention this in our previous segment, is Knock and Marengo tied on this game. Knock had guessed the score was going to be 27-13, and Marengo said it was going to be 21-17. The score was 27-7, and they were both exactly 6 points away from guessing the correct score, so they get a half point. First split of the year. We all guessed the Rams would win. They almost lost. I noticed the Falcons almost came back and won, but they couldn't close out. Marengo took the point on that one. And then, Caleb got the point on the Dogwater Broncos beating the Texans. But, hey, you know what? At least they beat the Texans. Colts couldn't seem to do that for me. So that's great. Cardinals, Raiders. As much as I'm upset I didn't get the point on this one, it just brings me joy from, just honest joy from the core to see them blow a game like that, especially with a team that we already beat. Knock took the point there. He guessed 31-20. It was 29-23. Pretty close there. We all guessed the Packers to win, and they did, of course, against the Bears. That was a really interesting game. If anyone watched, Justin Fields tried to clutch it at the end, but couldn't get it done. Titans, Bills. Who got the point? I mean, do we even want to talk about
scorched earth?
Yeah, I mean, Caleb, for whatever reason, Caleb was the only one who predicted a blowout. He guessed it'd be 35-14. It was worse. It was 41-7. The rest of us had it within. I mean, Knock had Tennessee winning. Marengo and I had it being less than a touchdown difference. I mean, I don't know. Titans, you guys are in trouble. I knew you guys were, but man, I didn't think it was going to be this bad. The fall off falls hard and steep for these guys. And then the final game of the night was Philly and Minnesota. Knock took the point with that one. He guessed at 23-17. He kind of prices righted Caleb there. Caleb guessed at 21-17. It was 24-7. And, totals for the week. Knock with the lead again. Just barely, but he came out with 4.5 points this week. I was just behind him with 4 points. Marengo had 3.5. Caleb had 3. So our season totals, right now we got Knock with a very comfortable lead at 12.5 points. I'm, sitting at about half. I'm not calling you that. You had 1 week. You had 1 week. Now you get 7 or more points again. Maybe we'll talk about a permanent change. Second place, I'm coming in at 6 points. Marengo's at 5.5, and Caleb is he's at 4 points. So he's doing all right. He's doing good. I thought Marengo was the one who was out last week, but I guess not. All right, no, I'll mess with you. I just wanted to see him do that face. So yeah, the race to catch Knock is on. We've got 16 more weeks, guys. So, we'll see what we can do there. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and move us on over into the week 3 games. So, actually, I'm sorry. Before we move on to that segment, I know I've been talking for quite a while, so I want to just say, do you guys have any other big surprises or anything from week 2 that you guys noticed? We'll throw it at you first, Caleb, because you look like you got something to say. What was the biggest surprise to you from week 2?
I we all dislike the Raiders. I think that goes without saying. But I think I'm the one that's coming to be the one that everybody's going to hate if you're a Raiders fan. I'm sorry. This one you might want to turn your head away because I'm about to go in. Raider fans, I don't know how. I almost feel sorry for you at this point. Everybody really had you. This is the AFC West. People were saying it's going to be the toughest of it so far. I don't know. Raiders and Broncos, you got some work to do. Vegas, you guys were up 23-7. 8:13 left in the fourth quarter. You're supposed to take that. You're supposed to win that game. That Murray scramble, I've never seen anything like that in my life. I mean, it scramble for a 2-point conversion, and he walks it in like he's walking the dog. Like, what's going on? Why is y'all are supposed to be, y'all were taking the West, AFC West, right? What happened? There's a big holding call on Vegas. 16 seconds left. Sets Arizona up with a 1st and goal from the 3. What are they doing? What are they doing? Then they score. We go to overtime, and Vegas, I'm sure they're like, oh no, we got this. The big fumble. Arizona picks it up, and they just take it to the crib. Why? How? What? When is it going to change for the Raiders? When? You can't blow games like this. You cannot be up 2 scores in the fourth quarter and just lose the way you did in overtime, picking up the fumble, and then they're just gone. Like there's something going on. I don't know, team chemistry. They look decent, and then they just blow it. I don't know. I don't even know what else to say about them. It was just bad execution late in the game, and something's got to be changed with them if they want any hope of doing anything.
Only team to do it worse than them this week was the Browns. Just want to mention that.
And that's pretty hard to do. That is pretty hard to do.
Anybody else got anything they want to say about the Raiders or any other surprising moments?
Not about the Raiders, man, but Mike Evans just full on assaulting a man was not something that I expected to see when I turned on the TV, man. He said it was on site. He was not playing. He was not playing with that man, Marshawn Lattimore.
They don't do remote work. That was on site.
Man, it got real spicy in New Orleans real quick. But yeah, man, it's wild. I think it's even more wild that Mike Evans is the only one that got suspended there. Like, he got suspended for a game. Marshawn didn't get suspended at all. I thought that was kind of odd, but there's a lot of odd things when it comes to suspensions around the league. I got another pretty juicy one, but I'll pass it to Knock because I know he wants to talk about them Cowboys.
Yeah, boy. How about them Cowboys? You guys see them dominating the poo-poo ass Bengals? Are you serious right now? Cooper Rush outperformed Burrow. Let that sink in. I'm going to say it again. Cooper Rush outperformed Joe Burrow. If you were someone that drafted Joe Burrow on your fantasy football team, and you jumped and got him in like, I don't know, the 5th or maybe even the 4th round because you're a believer. And then all of a sudden, Cooper Rush just mollywopped him because his stat line looks something like this. Joe Burrow, 199 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 48 QBR. Just not going to cut it, man. It's not going to cut it, especially when you play against a team like the Cowboys. This is my surprise. Who would have thunk it? You guys give me all that stuff. About how they were trash, how I shouldn't have picked them,
Yeah, we
and
did.
this and that. And let me tell you, I have them 0-2 right now, and they're 1-1. They're already 1 game ahead of my projection. So with that being said, I don't want to hear it right now. They're right on track to do exactly what I said they would do, and that is get them a wild card spot. They're going to be good enough until Dak comes back, and they're going to get it together. That's my biggest surprise. You see that defense? They had 6 sacks on Burrow. Burrow couldn't find it. They said Burrow's on track to have 100 sacks this year, and that's mostly due in part to the way the Cowboys mistreated. They hit him 9 times. They had him out there running for his life like his name was Justin Herbert on a Thursday night. Okay? I mean, they had that dude out there running for his damn life. He was scared to death. Okay? They run the ball, they stop the run. That boy, Micah Parsons, is that dude. I was a little salty when they gave him the Defensive Player of the Year award last year because I thought Bolton deserved it. And I know if Bolton would have started every game and they wouldn't have put him on the bench half the time, that he easily would have won that award because he would have had about 200 fucking tackles last year. Excuse my French. He had 200 tackles last year. But Micah Parsons got it. And now that I'm seeing him this year for what he is, I mean, that guy is a menace. He is unblockable by himself. He's phenomenal. So that's my biggest surprise. That's what stood out to me last week.
Yep, too bad I'm the only one who called it. But no, man, no, they look damn good. Cooper Rush surprisingly does show up whenever he's called upon. I'll say that about him as a backup. He did really well last time he had to fill in for Dak too. Dude's doing pretty well, so we'll see if he can continue to do that for another 4 to 6 weeks. But no, I don't have much else to say on that. You know who I am very disappointed in though, and it's not ahead of my season prediction by a game, not even a freaking field goal, not nothing. The Indianapolis Colts.
You're a Colts fan.
Sorry,
Look away now.
Oh, shh, I was doing a moment of silence for Matt Ryan's career. God, man. Like, dude, listen, I'm telling you right now, I am upset at this whole situation, this whole thing, because, listen, these guys got Matt Ryan, and then they came out and they got Big Dick Nick. Okay, they came out and got Big Dick Nick. They should be fine at quarterback. They should be able to put up points. They got Jonathan freaking Taylor. They don't got no one to catch the ball, but that doesn't matter. Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines can do that. These guys can't put a field goal up on Jacksonville. You can't put up you can't beat Houston. Now you can't even put up a field goal against Jacksonville. You gonna let Trevor Lawrence come in there and gritty on you. You should be ashamed of yourself. I'm so upset. You've lost me credibility on my own podcast. You've lost me money on my sports books. You're gonna lose my fantasy league. You Colts just have ruined my life, man. Everything else is going so well for me. But these damn Colts, when you had Peyton Manning, you made my life hell. When you had Andrew Luck, you made my life hell. Now y'all ain't got nobody, and you still somehow are making my life hell. I'm about tired of y'all, man. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying, y'all, dude, hold on. I'm going off script for this one. I'm just going to tell y'all. I put in a bet this week. I'm thinking they just tied Houston. Everyone's talking big mess. They're going to come out there and ball this week. I put together a same-game parlay. I'm over here just, like, giggling to myself about how easy this money's about to be, dude. I put together a parlay. I was like, okay, let's do Matt Ryan over 225 passing yards. Sure. Colts to win the game, definitely. Jonathan Taylor, 110 yards and a touchdown anytime. Bet. Bank on it. Dude, I put like $5 on it to win like hundreds of dollars. I'm over here just like, oh, that's easy money. I'm on Sunday. So I coordinate for an NFL ran flag football league with little children, small children that play flag football. They are just learning the rules of the sport, and they are named after real teams. Let me tell you how disappointed I was when this third grade Colts quarterback had more yards than Matt Ryan. Oh, dude, I was pissed. Like, dude, this kid plays in a league that has more interceptions than catches by receivers, and he had more yards than Matt Ryan? They put up like 13 points, way more than Matt Ryan. All right, that's all I have to say on that. I'm just saying, man, y'all need to get it together because I had y'all at the number 1 seed because of games like week 1 and week 2, and you can't even pull that out. Speaking of the Colts, moving on. Chiefs play them this week, and I'll tell you one thing.
Yeah.
Colts, if you come out here and get a freaking win this week, and you make my life even worse, I know I picked them to win this week, and I can't wait to see Mahomes go out there and put up probably only 150 yards because we're gonna have freaking Chad Henne in there by the fucking second quarter. The way that this stuff's going, have freaking Pacheco taking all the snaps. We'll have Travis Kelce's going to get his passing tutty this game. I don't know, man. Caleb, what do you have to say about these truckers, man? I'm done.
I'm kind of embarrassed. I'm looking at our standings here, and you have it being it's the worst. You have Indy winning by 8. Everybody else has this within a 7-score game.
They won't make 7. They won't score 7.
If all I can say on this one is if Kansas City loses this one, it's gonna be a bad look. They better not even. No, we better have Mahomes out in the second quarter. By the way, if they scored 20 points through 2 weeks and they did not score week 2, believe me, if they score double digits against Kansas City, I'm gonna be hot.
If they get in field goal range, it's a loss on the Chiefs.
Yes. I don't care what it is. We cannot let them score. You didn't even score against Jacksonville. You could not come up with a field goal. If they score 10 points against Kansas City, you know what? I'll give all y'all $10. That's where I'm at.
Oh, my God.
Y'all down with that?
Let me save this.
I mean, you're the only one who guessed Kansas City to win this week, and I'm pretty sure everyone else on this panel agrees that they wish they could change that pick right now.
As of right now, I bet y'all do, because I don't know what to say. I can't really clown. I have Indianapolis finishing really damn good, just not the first seed. I'll give you hell for that another time. But what happened? What's going on? You scored 20 points through 2 weeks. There's an issue. There's multiple issues that need to be addressed. What y'all think about it?
They put their belief in Matt Ryan. That's where they started. Matty Ice is done, man. Matty Ice went out and got to the Super Bowl and shit the bed. Hasn't done anything since. Literally nothing. Has been what Knock would call dog water since he lost in the Super Bowl. This man. I can go in on Matt Ryan all day because he's lost me some money, but I'm gonna move off of him. All intents and purposes, I am huge on the Colts this year, and I am just as pissed off as PK. Maybe not as pissed off because he has them the number 1 seed in the entire AFC, but I still have them going to the conference game.
Number 1 freaking scrubs in the AFC. Sorry.
I still have them going to the conference game, and as of right now, they look like they might get the number 1 pick. I don't know what is going on in Indianapolis. I don't know what has changed. I don't think Matt Ryan goes in there and makes this team that much worse. So I don't know if it's an identity crisis. I don't know if they just don't know what the hell they want to do on offense anymore, but they need to get it together. And going into this week, I damn sure want to change my pick because there is no way. There's absolutely no way it's even going to be competitive.
And Knox, forgive me. I know it's Matt Ryan, but even Matt Ryan right now, I would have thought would at least given them a W through the first 2 weeks. I mean, am I wrong for at least thinking that? Especially, I mean, are we so wrong in thinking Matt Ryan, even as of right now? I'm not talking Super Bowl Matt Ryan. I'm talking right now. Wouldn't we be? He could have been very easily 2-0. He could have at least. They should have won 1. Sorry, Knock. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Marengo. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm feeling some type of way about Matt Ryan right now.
Jacksonville put up 24 on this defense. If we don't put up 48, I will be disappointed. I will be disappointed because they're looking like a high school football team that just doesn't know what the hell they're doing. And if Indianapolis don't figure it out real soon, they're going to be at the bottom of the NFL, not just the bottom of that division.
I couldn't agree with you more on that one. I'm at a loss for words. I mean, when you look at all of our too early predictions, right? I mean, these predictions were made prior to the season. We didn't know what these teams were going to look like. we thought that there would be an upgrade in Indianapolis at the quarterback position, the most important position in NFL football. And with that, we thought that there would be an improvement in the team and the results that the team got week to week. But what we're finding is that they didn't get an upgrade at quarterback. It appears in 2 weeks, it appears that they've actually gone backwards at quarterback from Carson Wentz, which makes you wonder, why didn't they draft somebody? You know, who are their receivers? Who's their best offensive lineman? Right? Like, who do they got? What has their general manager been doing? And why didn't we see this going into the season? Right? So these are the questions that I have. I mean, they look pathetic. They really look pathetic. I'm looking at it. Matt Ryan had 0 touchdowns and 3 picks. He got outperformed 2 weeks in a row. Davis Mills week 1 and Trevor Lawrence week 2. Trevor Lawrence week 2. I mean, I feel like someone put a gun to his head and was like, you're going to play another year even though your arm don't. You know what I mean? Like, this is not aging gracefully. You know,
No, someone put
I
a
feel
gun to
bad
his
for
head and
him.
said, "We getting a draft pick."
Yeah, I feel bad for him. I feel bad for his team. I feel bad, mostly, I feel bad for the people who took Jonathan Taylor first overall in their fantasy draft, putting their belief in them, because now they're loading the box like it's Jenna Jameson, okay? There's 8, 9 in the box, bro, and he can't get anywhere. He can't get anywhere, so they've got to do something, or like you said, they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league at this pace. Matter of fact, quick question. Who's going to win that division? Who's going to win the division? Jacksonville? Is Jacksonville going to win the South? Is that who's coming out of the South? It's not the Titans.
I think it's going to be up for grabs at this point.
Maybe one of these guys get on track with the Titans or the Colts, but that division looks horrible right now.
I'll tell you what's going to happen in that division. All right. And it may come as a surprise to all of you. It's a surprise to me, too. I didn't see it going this way. But I think what happens is Matt Ryan, he's going to come, he's going to shit the bed against the Chiefs. They'll be 0-3. Now, I already only had them getting 3 losses this season. So they're going to put in Big Dick Nick week 4, buddy, and they're going to coast to the postseason #1 seed in the AFC. No, I'm joking, man. These guys are dog water.
Okay.
I think Tennessee wins that division 9-8. That's what I think is going to happen. Because it's terrible, dude. I mean, you can come out here and say, oh, well, you know, those are division games. You know, if anyone's going to, if there's any game that Houston or Jacksonville can win, it's a division game. That's like one of the lame excuses I saw online this week. Like, no, there's really no excuse for it. You're a veteran. You're supposed to be out here doing something, bro. You're just showing why, like, you're proving why all these people who've always been high on Matt Ryan are wrong. I mean, you see, like, not a lot of quarterbacks are Tom Brady that can just go to another team and ball out. But I mean, like, damn, dude, you couldn't, like, just keep the team at par. You couldn't just, like, do what Phillip Rivers did and just get the team through the season over 500. I mean, they even added an extra game. You got a chance to go 9-8, not 8-8. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm really concerned about my #1 AFC pick right now. I don't know, but I think a quarterback change is extremely necessary yesterday because the defense is doing decent. It's not like these teams are scoring 1,000,000 points. When you go out there and you can't even put up a field goal against Jacksonville, that's an offensive issue.
That's bad. That's
so bad.
That's horrible.
Dude. I'm tired of talking about these fools, man. Let's talk
Please,
about some teams.
on.
Let's talk about some teams that know what they're doing. We got 2 extremely good games. The first one, I think, for week 3 is going to be the Bills and Dolphins. I thought it was going to be like just a fun offensive game to watch before the season started, but now we've got both of them at 2-0. One of them's got to take an L, and it's in Miami. And It's going to be a good one, man. Caleb, you've been the only one who's been for Miami all season so far. So, what are you thinking about this game?
Um, I know I've been pretty high on Miami. I think I, they don't stand a chance. I don't even think this game is going to be particularly close. Miami was able to string together a really good comeback against. I just listen. Baltimore isn't Buffalo, and Allen's going to run all over these boys. And could be wrong. We've all been wrong so far. I like Miami this year. I don't see this being pretty. I'm looking at all of our stats right now. Yeah, all of us except Knock. Knock has it the closest. He has Buffalo winning by 9. I see this being a blowout. I don't think, so far, nobody's able to figure out Buffalo. And, while it is early, they've been running over teams. I don't think Miami's going to be the team to stop that. I just don't see it happening. I don't really know. I would like to see Miami win this game. I don't think it's going to come out like that. Knock, what are you feeling on this?
You know, we knew what the Bills were going to be. We knew the Bills were going to be good. We knew they were going to be AFC Championship caliber. The Dolphins are what surprised us, and especially that second half of this most recent week of week 2, the way Tua they went in, they made adjustments, and they came out and they executed. They have a different personnel, and I think that by and large, that's what we're going to see in the game. We're going to see the Bills are what everyone thought they were, and Miami plays them twice a year. Miami gives them a hard time. Miami has a really good defense. Miami has played good teams. They played the Patriots week 1, which I know that their offense is not playing well right now, but that is a well-ran team. Period, bar none. We know that's a well-ran team and it's a solid organization, right? And then week 2, the Dolphins beat a Ravens team who, I mean, we all expect to go to the playoffs. So they played some high caliber talent. Look at who the Bills have played. I mean, respectfully, they played the Rams. I know they won the Super Bowl last year, but they barely beat Atlanta this week. They're on a struggle bus. The Rams don't look like last year's Rams that went on the run into the playoffs. And then they beat Tennessee. We see Tennessee looks like ass. So I think this game is still going to be the Bills as I predicted, but I think it's going to be closer than everyone thinks. I think they're going to have the moments. I think there's going to be moments because the Dolphins do have wrinkles that maybe the Bills haven't seen yet. So we might see them get off here or there, but I do expect the Bills to hold it down and get the win this week by at least a touchdown.
Von Miller's
What
going
do
to
you
get
think,
in that
Marengo?
ass. Von Miller's going to get in that ass, and Tua's going to throw about 4 or 5 picks, and the Bills are going to go do what the Bills do. I mean, Von Miller is going to let his presence be known because he's done it all year. I get they've played New England. I get whatever. It don't matter. Von Miller is still that dude. He showed us that last year. He showed us that through 2 weeks. And if you don't get a handle on Von Miller, this is going to be a quick game. But other than that, I will give Miami their credit. They have played phenomenal these first 2 weeks and way better than I could have ever imagined. I really thought, honestly, I wrote Tua off, but Knox been saying it all season. He ain't write me back. He went out and put up almost 500 yards and 6 touchdowns last week. So, I mean, if that Tua shows up all game and that offense is humming off that win on Baltimore, maybe, but I have this game 28-13 Buffalo. It could easily get out of hand and be 42-7, 42-10 Buffalo. I mean, it's really kind of a toss-up. I'm riding with Buffalo all the way, though.
Yeah, I mean, looks like everybody's rolling Buffalo this week, man. I mean, not really too surprised. This is the too early predictions. This is all before week 1. I think I would still say the Bills should win. They've looked like the most dominant team. I mean, they've already scored 72 points in 2 weeks. I'd say and that's against the Rams and I guess the Titans, but I mean that's still pretty dang good. I will say if Miami were to come out and beat Buffalo though this week, um, that will be a move that they say put the league on notice. I think if they come out and Tyreek and Waddle both have 150 yards plus, and Tua's got 3+ tutties again, we might be in some trouble come playoff time. We're gonna have to see Tyreek in Kansas City or something. But no, I think Buffalo goes into Miami and humbles them a little bit. I've got it guessed at 28-17. I'd maybe add a little bit more to that score, but who knows? It could end up being a real defensive game too. They both have really good defense as well. I genuinely have no idea what's going to happen. So, um, one more though that I'm really excited to talk about. Uh, you know, Marengo called this game out a few weeks back when we were talking about our two league predictions, and this could be a playoff decision maker early in the season. Green Bay at Tampa Bay. Um, this game, people are kind of down on the Packers and the Bucks right now. They both have looked kind of like they're a little slow to get started this season, but in the big picture of everything, this could be the last time we see Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady face off. I mean, this could be the last time we get to see anything like that. Knock, you've been a fan of the NFL and been watching since both these guys started playing. What does this game mean to you?
These guys really epitomize what the quarterback position means in the modern era. When I was a kid and I started watching football, it was guys like, Marino and um, Elway, you know, um, guys like, you know, um, Joe Montana, right? I mean, these are the guys that I grew up, middle school, high school, and they were winning. They were great. I Brett Favre is on that list, obviously. And I remember whenever Aaron Rodgers was just that kid that got drafted and had to sit the bench because Favre wasn't going nowhere and he wasn't going to help the kid learn or any of that, right? And you see now how that's being handed off. Aaron Rodgers is now doing that to the kid that they drafted behind him. So it's a beautiful thing to see. I remember Tom Brady in Michigan and now playing, and so there's no way that we could have predicted, that these two would go down in history as two of the most iconic players, especially in our current era. And to your point, PK, it is the last time that they're playing, or it could be the last time that we see them play. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm definitely going to be tuned in. I hope it's a really good game. I hope that they both find a way to bring out the best in one another while they're out there, and we get to see some truly memorable moments. I want to see them have to battle where it maybe the best part of their career gets pulled out of them, right? That heat of the battle and that close game where they got to get those 2-minute drives and that kind of thing is where we usually see guys like that cement themselves in the history and make their Hall of Fame presence felt. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And they've always delivered that. So I expect nothing less this week.
Yeah, yeah, man, big game. Marengo, you called it, man. One of the biggest games of the regular season. What are you thinking for this week?
Like Knox said, I mean, I think he hit the nail right on the head, man. Two of the greatest of all time, two of the best to ever sling it. I hate giving Tom Brady his credit, but I'm gonna have to, man. I mean, that man deserves a gold jacket the day he decides to actually retire. When Giselle makes him finally hang up the cleats, but no, I expect it to be a great game. I really do believe that this could be the last time they play each other, so I think it's going to be awesome to watch. I got this game 28-24, and I'm actually the only one taking Green Bay this week. I believe in Aaron Rodgers. He hasn't shown me a whole lot. I mean, he beat the Bears. He hasn't shown me a whole lot through 2 weeks, but he is Aaron Rodgers. He is going to show up and show out. He knows who he's playing. He knows what's on the line here. It's only week 3, but a win here could very well get you the number 1, number 2 spot at the end of the year, whatever they're fighting for. So I think it's going to be a big game. It's going to be really intense, and I think Green Bay is going to come out on top, man, 28-24. They're going to go take care of business in Tampa.
Bold.
It's interesting. Because you would think both the times that all this time that these guys have been in the league, you would think they would have played more. I believe this is going to be the fifth matchup. I think this is going to be only the fifth time these two have ever played against each other. As weird as that sounds, Tom Brady has taken 3 out of the 4. Last time Rodgers has beaten a team with Brady on it was back in 2014. And Aaron Rodgers might not ever let anybody know that he has this game circled, but he definitely has this game circled. I think he's going to come out slinging. I think he's ready to take this W. That being said, I know the three of us, I know Marengo has Green Bay winning it. I still have Tampa winning. I just don't think. Now, I think I would tune the score down just a little bit. I have Tampa winning 35-24. Tampa just hasn't, they don't seem like they have that ability to score that high. Who knows? It's going to be a high caliber game. I know both of them know what they have at stake. I think this is going to be one for the ages. I think this really might be the last time that they will ever play again. So we're all going to have this circled. Everybody's going to be watching it. John, what do you think about it?
Green Bay is my Super Bowl pick for the NFC. Not my winners, but I got them going. I think I've got Tampa Bay winning 41-31. I think that what's going to get Green Bay at the end of the day is their defense. I think Tampa Bay's just got a solid defense, and Knox kind of pointed out to me, as much as I hate to admit, the Packers' offense is decent. They beat Chicago, good job, but they're not amazing, and Tampa Bay's got a pretty good defense, which has been keeping Brady safe the last 2 weeks. So Brady hasn't looked super amazing either. I would, kind of like you said, maybe tone the score down just a little bit from 41-31. If I were to do it again, though, I would still take Tampa in the win, probably just somewhere in the high 20s for both, maybe high and low 20s for those teams. But big game. I really hope if it's a 41-31 game, it's going to be a hell of a night. We're going to have a lot of fun watching it. So I'm really excited to see what happens in that game. I've definitely got it circled, and I think that we're gonna see history in the making, guys. I mean, unless they somehow meet up again in the playoffs, this is it. So
Packers ain't making the playoffs.
I don't know about
Neither
that.
are the Lions.
Neither
are the Lions.
Oh man, you know what? We almost got through
good.
the whole. We almost got through the whole show. No, I'm fucking right. No, man. This is going to be a great week of football. Week 2, almost seemed like a little bit of a lull after the crazy week 1 that we had. So I'm hoping to see a lot of really good games this week. Super excited. Here, I'll just show what we've got for these other games we haven't put on the screen yet. I don't know. All I know is at least one of us, has to start tracking down Knock on this dang score. Because we're down. I mean, I'm down 6.5, and I'm in second place with 6 total. So, we got to.
That makes me feel great.
I'm just saying, we got to catch this man.
This is me giving y'all the Tyreek Hill deuces as I'm running past you.
I don't know about that, man. We got a lot of time left. Man,
Man, hit the outro.
Man, no, but really though, I'm excited to see what happens this week, guys. Best of luck to you guys in this week's picks. Of course, I'm hoping to come out on top, but I appreciate everyone watching as well. If you haven't already and you plan on putting any bets in this week, hint, don't pick from Caleb's predictions. Go ahead, check out the links below. Check out our links below, man. We're affiliated with multiple sports books, so whichever format's your favorite, click on that one below, man. We got some really good promo codes, get you guys some risk-free bets, things like that. And appreciate you guys supporting the show. And until next week, man, you guys have a great weekend.
Later.
You know what? 4-13. Sorry.
Damn.